This meeting is being recorded. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamadyam Dadati Swavadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Udapata Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagarajhatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Jajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padhan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sham He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Class 2. We are getting into the pure devotion service today. Okay, so we'll focus specifically on pure devotion service, and under pure devotion service you have the two big divisions. Okay, one is the sadhana bhakti, and then the vaidhi sadhana bhakti and raganuga sadhana bhakti. Okay, so we'll focus on sadhana bhakti, and sadhana bhakti has got two divisions. One is the vaidhi sadhana and raganuga sadhana. Okay, so what did we see yesterday? Any quick points anybody want to share? What did we, just a recollection?
Yes, Prabhuji, the various sides of the ocean,
Yes.
and within the Eastern Ocean we saw the 4 waves, and then I think starts with the Samanya, then Sadhana, then goes to the Bhava stage, and then to the Prema stage.
Okay.
So I think that's what we saw, and then we saw the 5 rasas and the 7 secondary rasas, 5 primary rasas.
Okay.
And the 2 essential things, the regulative principles, the Vaidhi Bhakti, and then it matures later into the Bhava and the Prema stage at later stages, gradually.
Okay. Anybody else? Anything additionally? What is this book, Nectar Devotion, is called as? Complete
Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu.
Yeah, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This is complete science of
Devotional service.
Complete science of Bhakti Yoga. Okay, how it is Bhakti is defined as Uttama Bhakti or Bhakti specifically by Rupa Goswami?
Activities which are done to please Krishna.
Yeah, intention to please Krishna is Bhakti. Okay, the intention to please Krishna is called Bhakti. Okay.
Prabhu, can I say?
Yeah, go ahead. Go
Whatever is done to for intention to please Krishna is known as bhakti.
Pure devotion.
Pure devotion.
Okay. What is rasa? What is rasa?
Sweet mellows.
Mellows. Okay. Then
Amrit, nectar.
Amrit. Okay.
Sindhu, ocean.
Okay.
Prabhu, can I say what is rasa?
Yes.
Rasa is the amritam or nectar of doing devotional service.
Okay. Fine. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu described this as a what? Bhakti Rasamrita is a small portion of the entire Bhakti devotion service. Okay. So the rasa, the taste, that is Amrita, that is eternal. Okay. Every service that has some attractive feature which drives the servitor progressively on and on. Okay. That force which drives the devotee by which he will be able to get that mellow or the rasa. Okay. So what is the difference between the rasa in the material world and the spiritual world?
In the spiritual world, it is perpetual. In material world, it will end at some point of time.
Correct. Then anything else? And Rupa Goswami is also called as Bhakti Rasa Acharya. Okay, one who knows the essence of devotional service. So he is also Rupa Goswami described as the Bhakti Rasa Acharya. Bhakti Rasa Acharya is nothing but Acharya who knows the essence of devotional service. Okay, so the signs of devotional service given by him. Yes. And he is the Rupa Manjari. Okay, so in Gaura Gano Padeshika, he is considered, he is the incarnation of the Rupa Manjari. So, and we all know this, right? Chaitanya Manobhishtam. So he is a Swayam Rupa Gadamagyam, that portion also. Okay. So the waves of bhakti is the Samanya Bhakti, Sadhana Bhakti, and Bhava Bhakti, and Prema. Okay, so today we'll go to the next lesson. Okay. And we also saw this. Does anybody remember the names? Bhava Bhakti, Samanya Bhakti, Mukti Bhakti. Okay, no problem. So that 4 portions also you just have to remember. So when we started yesterday with the first sloka, the Mangala Charanam, in the Mangala Charan, what is the main first word that we saw? What is the first word in Mangala Charan?
Nana.
No. Nana Shastra Vidhan is glorifying the Rupa Goswami and others. But to start with the very first word. What is that word?
Akila. It starts with Akila Prabhu, Akila Rasasmi. I forgot.
The very first word. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindu starts with the first word. Huh?
Dharma.
No.
Anya.
This is the first one. What is the first one?
Akila Rasamrita.
Akila Rasamrita Murti. Okay. So invocation prayer is all about the first sloka or the invocation prayer is Akila Rasatma Murti Prasimara Ruchi Rudha Taraka Paliki. So he is considered as the Krishna is considered as the Akila Rasamrita Murti. Okay. So this is the first one. These 4 slokas is the invocation sloka, and then he is praying like Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu starts with this invocation prayers in glorification of the Supreme Lord, identified as the Akila Rasamrita Murti. Okay, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Charataha Paribhuta Kala Jalabihi Bhakta Maka Rasanlite Mukti Nandikanna Masami. So which means so devotees should have to go. How does Prabhu? We ended the last class with what? How does the devotees have to go into the ocean? How does the devotees have to go into the ocean?
Big fish.
Yes. Bhakta Makar analysis. So which means he has to become very, very big fish. We have to go deep beneath the fishing nets of time and abandoning the shallow waters of liberation. So it means we have to go very, very deep. Okay. So when we go deep into the ocean of devotion, then we should become like sharks, or we should become like king of fishes, so that we'll be out of this bhukti, mukti, kami and everything, and then we will never be caught in the net of liberation also. So we'll go very deep inside the devotion, the ocean of devotion. Okay, that is what the first invocation focus. So we saw this. Akila Rasamrita Murti is identified with the primary rasas followed by the secondary rasas. Okay, so this is what we saw yesterday. So this is what we saw, definition of bhakti. What is definition of bhakti? Anna bilashita sunyam jnana karma dhyanavritam anukulyena Krishna anusilanam bhakti uttama. So I think this also we saw. So this is where Uttama Bhakti is intended to please. The intention to please Krishna is defined as Uttama Bhakti or Bhakti. Krishna anusilam. But whatever anusilanam, whatever that intention is, that pleases Krishna is the highest devotion. So Anukulyana. Anukulyana means anything that is favorable to Krishna. Okay. And whatever all others, anya bilashita sunyam. Okay, anya bilashita sunyam means whatever other desire, anything other than pleasing Krishna is sunyam. Sunyam means what? Zero. Okay, anya bilashita sunyam means other than pleasing Krishna, everything else sunyam. Okay, jnana karmadi anavritam. Okay, so the knowledge which is useless for bhakti. So whatever anavritam means no use. So whatever knowledge that we try to gain, whatever intelligence that we get, if you don't apply for bhakti, then it is jnana karmadi anavritam. So the karma or action that is supposed to please Krishna will become anavritam, which means totally waste. Okay, and then this second sloka, yata narada pancharatre sarvopadi. So getting spelling mistake. Sarvopadi vinir muktam tat pratetena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhaktir uchyate. Okay, so this is the second sloka. The second sloka's second part is sarvopadi vinir muktam tat paratvena nirmalam. Okay, which means the last portion is rishikena rishikesha sevanam. So what is that we are trying to do is we are trying to please the Rishikesha. Okay, so Rishikesha, Rishikena, Rishikesh. So all our senses are directed towards who? Towards Rishikesha Sevana. And that is called as Bhakti Ruchyate. So what is meant by Bhakti? The second definition of Bhakti, first definition of Bhakti is Anya Bleda Shunyam, Yana Karmati Anavritam, Anukuliyana Krishna, Krishna Anusilam, Bhakti Uttamam. So what is Bhakti Uttamam is this one. Whatever is pure devotion service is whatever is pleasing to Krishna, intention to please Krishna, all other knowledge is totally waste. That's first definition. Second definition is if I am going to engage all my senses towards the Rishikesha in Sevanam, then that is called as Bhakti Ruchyate. So what is highest devotion service or the pure devotion services? I'm engaging all my senses in the Sevanam of who? Rishikesha. Okay. So sarvopadi vinir muktam tat paratmena nirmatam. So whatever material things, okay, whatever sarvopadi vinir muktam. Sarvopadi means everything. Vinir muktam, which means free from material designation. I am this body. I am born in this particular village. I have this qualification. I am married to this person. I am this. So whatever be the material identity, whatever will be the material entanglement or the so-called designation or identity is away. Okay, that is why if you come to Vrindavana, if somebody says, who is your father, who is your mother, they'll simply say, Krishna is my father and the mother is Radharani. That's all. So they don't even identify themselves with any other material layer of identity. So they are completely surrendered, means they will have never any other designation or any other way of telling that, okay, I am belonging to this material world. No. Okay, so they will never get into that. That is why Vinir Muktam, which means they are away, totally away from this material. Even though they are living this material world, even though they are performing certain activities, but they are completely on the platform on the transcendental platform where they are completely dedicated towards Krishna. So that is why it is called as Uttama Bhakti. Okay, so Uttama Bhakti or definition of Bhakti is defined in these two. Okay, so we saw this also. Clear? These two slokas very clear. Those slokas are very important slokas because everywhere various acharyas, even ISKCON acharyas will use these two slokas. Okay, Anna Bleda Shunyam and Sarvopadi Nirmuktam. These two slokas are the primary slokas which define about what is meant by Uttama Bhakti. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Uchyate. Everywhere, even Prabhupada, even in Bhagavad Gita, many areas, these two slokas are being quoted to identify what is meant by Bhakti. Okay. Even Chaitanya Charitamrita, everywhere. So, see, Chaitanya Charitamrita, even in Chaitanya Charitamrita also, Chaitanya Charitamrita has got a lot of compilation from other slokas also. So, whatever you quote from Chaitanya Charitamrita, even Bhagavatam slokas are present in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay. So this portion we saw knowledge, description, and deity, the Acharya, about Sambandha, Abhidaya, and Prayojana. This we have already discussed in detail. Okay. Very good. Now let's get into Uttama Bhakti. Little more detail into Uttama Bhakti. Okay. So how do we go? There are two ways to do it. Okay. So pure devotion service. You can read the portion and then come back to the summary of slides. So we saw the introduction yesterday. So today we'll get into the characteristics of pure devotional service. Okay. So we can read, you can keep quickly reading through the paragraphs, then you can come to it. Okay. So today we will just focus on qualities of Uttama Bhakti or pure devotional service. Okay. So please keep reading through the paragraphs. Then we will go to the summary. Okay. So whatever I'm telling you from the presentation is the summary portion of it. But from the sloka or from the Prabhupada's chapter wise, you also need to quickly read. Okay. So you take your time, quickly read through, and then we can come back. Okay. Or you want to, how many of them are there today? 13 of them. Okay. Should we take a little group and then come back, or we'll just keep reading?
We'll read together, Prabhuji, here in the group.
Okay. Okay. Keep reading. Yeah.
I'll start, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. The first chapter of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindu, characteristics of pure devotional service. In Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 29th chapter, verses 12 and 13, Srila Kapila Dev, while instructing his mother, has given the following characteristics of pure devotional service. My dear mother, those who are my pure devotees and who have no desire for material benefit or philosophical speculation have their minds so much engaged in my service that they are never interested in asking me for anything except to be engaged in that service. They do not even beg to live in my abode with me. There are 5 kinds of liberation, namely to become
So,
one with the Lord.
Yes, Prabhuji, continue, but I'm just telling, see, don't wait for me to call out. Please, anybody just keep coming, continue to read, okay? Then only we'll be able to read. Okay, good.
Sure, I'll just read 2-3 paragraphs and then other.
Yeah, two paragraphs.
There are,
yeah, okay.
Sure, Prabhuji. There are 5 kinds of liberation, namely to become one with the Lord, to live with the Supreme Lord on the same planet, to have the same features as the Lord, to enjoy the same opulences as the Lord, and to live as a companion of the Lord. A devotee, were to speak of rejecting material sense gratification, does not even want any of the 5 kinds of liberation. He is satisfied simply by discharging loving service to the Lord. That is the characteristic of pure devotion. Hari Bol.
In the above
statement by Kapila Deva from Srimad Bhagavatam, the actual position of a pure devotee is described and the primary characteristics of devotional service are also defined. Further characteristics of devotional service are described by Rupa Goswami with evidences from 4 different scriptures. He states that there are 6 characteristics of pure devotional service, which are as follows. Pure devotional service brings immediate relief from all kinds of material distress. Pure devotional service is the beginning of all auspiciousness. Pure devotional service automatically puts one in transcendental pleasure. Pure devotional service is rarely achieved. Those in pure devotional service deride even the conception of liberation. Pure devotional service is the only means to attract Krishna. Krishna is all attractive, but pure devotional service attracts even him. This means that pure devotional service is even transcendently stronger than Krishna himself because it is Krishna's internal potency. Hare Krishna.
relief from material distress. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that one should surrender unto him, giving up all other engagement. The Lord also gives his word there that he will protect surrendered souls from the reactions of all sinful activities. Srila Rupa Goswami says that the distresses from sinful activities are due both to the sins themselves and to sins committed in our past life. Generally, one commits sinful activities due to ignorance, but ignorance is no excuse for evading the reaction, sinful activities. Sinful activities are of 2 kinds, those that are mature and those that are not mature. The sinful activities for which we are suffering at the present moment are called mature. The many sinful activities stored within us for which we have not yet suffered are considered immature. For example, a man may have committed criminal acts, but not yet been arrested for them. Now, as soon as he is detected, arrest is awaiting him. Similarly, for some of our sinful activities, we are awaiting distresses in the future. And for others which are mature, we are suffering at the present moment. In this way, there is... Okay, Prabhu.
Yes. Okay. In this way, there is a chain of sinful activities and their concomitant distress. And the conditioned soul is suffering life after life due to these sins. He is suffering in the present life the results of sinful activities from his past life, and he is meanwhile creating further sufferings for his future life. Mature sinful activities are exhibited if one is suffering from some chronic disease, if one is suffering from some legal implications, if one is born in a low and degraded family, or if one is uneducated or very ugly. There are many results of past sinful activities for which we are suffering at the present moment, and we may be suffering in the future due to our present sinful activities. But all of these reactions to sinful deeds can immediately be stopped if we take to Krishna consciousness. As evidence for this, Rupa Goswami quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 14th chapter, verse 19. This verse is in connection with Lord Krishna's instruction to Uddhava, where he says, "My dear Uddhava, devotional service unto me is just like a blazing fire, which can burn into ashes, unlimited fuel supply to it. The purport in this, as the blazing fire can burn any amount of fuel to ashes, so devotional service to the Lord in Krishna consciousness can burn up all the fuel of sinful activities. For example, in the Gita, Arjuna thought that fighting was a sinful activity, but Krishna engaged him on the battlefield on his order, and so the fighting became devotional service. Therefore, Arjuna was not subjected to any sinful reaction.
Srila Rupa Goswami quotes another verse from the 3rd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 33rd chapter, 6th verse, in which Devahuti addresses her son, Kapila Dev, and says, "My dear Lord, there are 9 different kinds of devotional service, beginning from hearing and chanting. Anyone who hears about your pastimes, who chants about your glories, who offers you obeisances, who thinks of you, and in this way executes any of the 9 kinds of devotional service, even if he is born in a family of dog eaters, the lowest grade of mankind, becomes immediately qualified to perform sacrifices. As such, for anyone who is actually engaged in devotional service in full Krishna consciousness, how is it possible that he has not become purified? It is not possible. One who is engaged in Krishna consciousness and devotional service has without doubt become freed from all contaminations of material sinful activities. Devotional service, therefore, has the power to actually nullify all kinds of reactions to sinful deeds. A devotee is nevertheless always alert not to commit any sinful activities. This is his specific qualification as a devotee. Thus, the Srimad Bhagavatam states that by performing devotional service, a person who has born even in a family of dog eaters may become eligible to take part in the performance of the ritualistic ceremonies recommended in the Vedas. It is implicit in this statement that a person born into a family of dog eaters is generally not fit for performing yajna or sacrifice. The priestly caste in charge of performing these ritualistic ceremonies recommended in the Vedas is called the Brahmana order. Unless one is Brahmana, he cannot perform these ceremonies. Thank you.
A person is born in a Brahmana family or in a family of dog eaters due to his past activities. If a person is born in a family of dog eaters, it means that his past activities were all sinful. But if even such a person takes to a path of devotional service and begins to chant the holy names of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, he is at once fit to perform the ritualistic ceremonies. This means that his sinful reactions have immediately become neutralized. It is stated in the Padma Purana that there are 4 kinds of effects due to sinful activities, which are listed as follows: the effect that is not yet fructified, the effect that is lying as seed, the effect that is already mature, and the effect that is almost mature. It is also stated that all these 4 effects become immediately vanquished for those one who surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu and become engaged in his devotional service in full Krishna consciousness. Thank you.
Those effects described as almost mature refers to the distress from which one is suffering at present, and the effects lying as seeds are in the core of the heart, where there is a certain stock of sinful desires which are like seeds. The Sanskrit word putam means that they are almost ready to produce the seed or the effect of the seed. An immature effect refers to the case where the seedling has not begun. From this statement of Padma Purana, it is understood that material contamination is very subtle. Its beginning, its fruition and results, and how one suffers such results in the form of distress are part of a great chain. When one catches some disease, it is often very difficult to ascertain the cause of the disease, where it is originated, and how it is maturing. The suffering of a disease, however, does not appear all of a sudden. It actually takes time, and as in the medical field or precaution's sake, the doctor injects a vaccination to prevent the growing of contamination. The practical injection to stop all the fructification of the seeds of our sinful activity is simply engagement in Krishna consciousness.
In this connection, Shukadev Goswami speaks in the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd chapter, verse 17, about the story of Ajamila, who began life as a fine and dutiful Brahmana, but who in his young manhood became wholly corrupted by a prostitute. At the end of his wicked life, just by calling the name Narayana Krishna, he was saved despite so much sin. Sukadeva points out that austerity, charity, and the performance of ritualistic ceremonies for counteracting sinful activities are recommended processes, but that by performing them, one cannot remove the sinful desire seed from the heart, as was the case with Ajamila in his youth. This sinful desire seed can be removed only by achieving Krishna consciousness. And this can be accomplished very easily by chanting the Maha Mantra or Hare Krishna mantra as recommended by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In other words, unless one adopts the path of devotional service, he cannot be 100% clean from all the reactions of sinful activities.
By performing Vedic,
By performing Vedic ritualistic activities, by giving money in charity, and by undergoing austerity, one can temporarily become free from the reactions of sinful activities. But at the next moment, he must again become engaged in sinful activities. For example, a person suffering from venereal disease on account of excessive indulgence in sex life has to undergo some severe pain in medical treatment, and he is then cured by for the time being. But because he has not been able to remove the sex desire from his heart, he must again indulge in the same thing and become a victim of the same disease. So medical treatment may give temporary relief from the disease of such venereal disease, but unless one is trained to understand that sex life is abominable, it is impossible to be saved from such repeated distress. Similarly, the ritualistic performances, charity, and austerity, which are recommended in the Vedas, may temporarily stop one from acting in sinful ways, but as long as the heart is not clear, one will have to repeat sinful activities again and again.
another example.
Sorry, Prabhu, you continue.
Yes. Another example given in Srimad Bhagavatam concerns the elephant who enters into a lake and takes a bath very seriously, cleansing his body thoroughly. Then, as soon as he comes onto shore, he again takes some dust from the earth and throws it over his body. Similarly, a person who is not trained in Krishna consciousness cannot become completely free from the desire from sinful activities. Neither the yoga process, nor philosophical speculation, nor fruitive activities can save one from the seeds of sinful desire. Only by being engaged in devotional service can this be done.
There is another evidence in the fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 22nd chapter, verse 39, wherein Sanat Kumar says, "My dear king, the false ego of a human being is so strong that it keeps him in material existence as if tied up by a strong rope. Only the devotee can cut off the knot of this strong rope very easily by engaging themselves in Krishna consciousness. Others who are not in Krishna consciousness but who are trying to become great mystic or great ritual performers cannot advance like the devotees. Therefore, it is the duty of everyone to engage himself in the activity of Krishna consciousness in order to be freed from the tight knot of false ego and engagement in material activities. This tight
knot of false ego is due to ignorance. As long as one is ignorant about his identity, he is sure to act wrongly and thereby become entangled in material contamination. This ignorance of factual knowledge can also be dissipated by Krishna consciousness, as is confirmed in the Padma Puran as follows. Pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness is the highest enlightenment. And when such enlightenment is there, it is just like a blazing forest fire, killing all the inauspicious snakes of desire. The example is being given in this connection that when there is a forest fire, the extensive blazing automatically kills all the snakes in the forest. There are many, many snakes on the ground of the forest, and when a fire takes place, it burns the dried foliage, and the snakes are immediately attacked. Animals which have four legs can flee from the fire or can at least snakes are immediately killed. So can you scroll up? Similarly, the blazing fire of Krishna consciousness is so strong that the snakes of ignorance are immediately killed.
Krishna consciousness is all auspicious. Srila Rupa Goswami has given a definition of
Wait. Okay. So this is a very big chapter. Okay, so I will just give you a summary. Whatever we have seen today, how we are trying to see. 1 second. So what are we trying to see is this one. So today we started with this chapter in which we go back to the chapter. It starts with 5 types of mukti. So 5 types of mukti in the sloka is very nice sloka in 3rd canto 29th chapter. Okay, Salukya Sashi Samibhya Sarup Ekatvam Api Uta. Okay, Diyamanam Nagritnanti Vinamat Sevam Janaha. So a pure devotee does not accept any kind of devotion. Salukya Sarashti Samibhya Sarubhya Ekatva, even though they are offered by the Supreme Lord. Even though it is directly offered by the Supreme Lord, it is not accepted by the devotee. Okay, so Rupa Goswami refers this sloka and then he starts this with the contention that pure devotees are not even bothered about liberation. So what kind of liberation? All kinds of liberation. It also is going little detail into the Salukya Mukti. Salukya Mukti is like where to live separately. So sometimes that is again divided into two, but some of them accept it just because, for example, for performing devotion service. Like if they are like asking you to go to live in the hell, they're very happy to go and live in hell, even though it might look like mukti. Okay, for example, Bali Maharaj, where is he now? Where is he?
Patal.
Yeah. So he is there just performing service. Okay, so he's eternally there. Okay, so irrespective of being in a position, he is just continuing the service as a devotional part. Okay, so that is why this is the first section of. If you go back to the chapter, it starts with this one. Okay, then what is it? The next one is talking about 6 qualities of Uttama Bhakti. Okay, so what are the 6 qualities? Very nice sloka also. Kleshagni Subhadha Moksha Lagu Akrit Sudurlabha, Sadhar, Sandarnanda Visheshatma, Sri Krishna Akarshnicha. Okay. So Klesha Agni, Subhada, Moksha Lagu Kakrit, Sudurlabha, Sandarananda, Visheshatma, Sri Krishna Akarshni. So these are 6 different qualities. So whatever you have seen now is only, so we read for how many minutes we read? We read more than for 15-20 minutes, right? Half an hour, we have just read only this portion of removing the suffering. So we still have today's class, we have to complete all the 6. Okay? So 6 qualities of Uttama Bhakti is Kleshagni, Subhada, Moksha Lagu Akrit, okay, Sudurlabha, Sadananda, Apram Sri Krishna Akarshan. Okay, Sri Krishna Akarshan is the devotion by which Krishna himself will get attracted. Okay, so these are 6 ones. So today homework is just to remember all these 6. Okay, in Sanskrit also, Kleshagni, Subhada, Moksha Lagu Akrit, Sudurlabha, Sandarananda, Sandar Ananda. Okay, Sandar Ananda means Sandesh. What is meant by Sandesh? It is nothing but condensed milk, right? So in that sense, you remember Sandrananda, Visheshatma, Sri Krishna Akarshan. Okay, these are 6 qualities. So in which, what is that if you read, whatever we have read is from this sloka. Okay, Aprabdha phalam papam, kutam vijam phalom mukam, kramainaiva praliyeta, Vishnur bhakti atat. So the sins are divided into 4 stages. Okay, Aprabdha phalam, that is like it is not yet manifested, which is very, very even in not even the seed form, it is just inside that. So the wrong acts or wrongful activities that we have done, it is still not yet manifested, it is still there. So when it will come, we don't know. First stage. Second is kutam. Kutam is nothing but it just slowly come, and it is in the seed or in the bud stage. Okay, and then vision is actually very, very, very well grown, and then it is already there. Finally, Phalon Mukam is already fully bloomed or fully blossomed with a fruit. So it is like a poison tree or a poison plant, whatever you can think. It is all our own wrong acts or wrong desires or wrong understanding. So how do we understand? Kleshagni. Kleshagni means this all sufferings. These sufferings can be in 3 categories. Either at the not at born, it is very at the lower stage, which is fully grown, and then which is fully matured. So what does it mean? Uttama Bhakti will remove all kind of sufferings, even that is not yet come. So we might have done, that is why you say even certain wrong acts, if at all we have done also, Krishna gives that assurance that Klesha Agni, that will be Agni, means it will be completely destroyed. Okay, so that is where Aprabdha Prapam, Avidya Prapam, Vijam, and Prapta Papam. So which is unmanifested, which is slightly Kutam, which is slightly in the Kuta means it is small level, and then grown, and then fully grown. Okay, so what is the suffering? This one, it is because of our wrong acts, wrong desires, and wrong understanding. So Uttama Bhakti, characteristic of Uttama Bhakti is first Kleshagni, it will definitely remove it. Remove at what levels? At all the 4 levels. So sufferings or the miseries will be at the 4 levels, it will be removed. Clear? Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, so that is the sloka is also there. So if you read through the NoD in the Veda base, you will not get the sloka. So that is why I have put the sloka also, so that you will be able to get it. We will share this PPT little later. Okay. Kramaineva Freplete Vishnur Bhaktir Atatmanam. Okay. So I'll go to the next one. So we have just seen only 2 parts. Okay. Then the next part is within that removal of wrong acts, wrong desires. Another important point that what Rupa Goswami is giving this different quotes. What are these different quotes? One is from Bhagavatam 6th canto, then 4th canto from Bhagavatam. So all these things he is quoting to ensure that we are 100% convinced that Uttama Bhakti is the topmost, which will remove all kind of wrong desires for sin, remove ignorance or remove all kind of different understandings. Okay. Yattata pankaja falasa vilasha bhaktya karmashyam virahitam udghriyanti sataha. So by devotion service to his lotus feet, saints untie the hard knotting bind to the desire and action. But those who without such a mood cannot stop the flow of senses, which means, so all our senses, all our mind, all our mood, whatever we try, if it is not engaged towards Vasudeva, towards Krishna, then it is completely waste. And then from Padma Purana also. So everywhere you see, he will quote certain slokas. Okay. What is the second one? Is bestows auspiciousness. Okay. So this is what we are going to see now. So till now, whatever you have read is only this thing. So okay. Till now, whatever you have read is remove suffering, and within that suffering is what the details we have seen. Okay. Okay, let's go back. You can start reading the auspiciousness.
Srila Rupa Goswami has given a definition of auspiciousness. He says that actual auspiciousness means welfare activities for all the people of the world. At the present moment of groups of people are engaged in welfare activities in terms of society, community, or nation. There's even an attempt in the form of the United Nations for World Health Activity. But due to the shortcomings of limited national activities, such a general mass welfare programs is for the whole world is not practically possible. Krishna consciousness movement, however, is so nice that it can render the highest benefit to the entire human race. Everyone can be attracted by this movement, and everyone can feel the result. Therefore, Rupa Goswami and other learned scholars agree that a broad propaganda program for the Krishna consciousness movement of devotional service all over the world is the highest humanitarian welfare activity.
How the Krishna consciousness movement can attract the attention of the whole world and how each and every man can feel pleasure in this Krishna consciousness is stated in the Padma Purana as follows. A person who is engaged in devotional service in full Krishna consciousness is to be understood to be doing the best service to the whole world and to be pleasing everyone in the world. In addition to human society, he is pleasing even the trees and animals because they also become attracted by such a movement. A practical example of this was shown by Lord Chaitanya when he was traveling through the forest of Jharkhand in central India for spreading his Sankirtan movement. The tigers, the elephants, the deer, and all other wild animals joined him and were participating in their own ways by dancing and chanting Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Furthermore, a person engaged in Krishna consciousness, acting in devotional service, can develop all the good qualities that are generally found in the demigods. It is said by Shukadev Goswami in the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 18th chapter, verse 12, My dear king, persons who have unflinching faith in Krishna and are without any duplicity can develop all the good qualities of the demigods. On account of a devotee's high grade of Krishna consciousness, even the demigods like to live with him, and therefore it can be understood that the qualities of the demigods have developed within his body.
On the other hand, a person who is not consciousness, who is not in Krishna consciousness, has no good qualities. He may be highly educated from the academic point of view, but in the actual field of his activities, he can be seen to be baser than the animals. Even though a person is highly educated academically, if he cannot go beyond the sphere of mental activities, then he is sure to perform only material activities and thus remain impure. There are so many persons in the modern world who have been highly educated in the materialistic universities, but it is seen that they cannot take up the moment of Krishna consciousness and develop the high qualities of the demigods. For example, a Krishna conscious boy, even if he is not very well educated by the university standard, can immediately give up all illicit sex life, gambling, meat eating, and intoxication. Whereas those who are not in Krishna consciousness, although very highly educated, are often drunkards, meat eaters, sex mongers, and gamblers. These are five practical proofs of how a Krishna conscious person becomes highly developed in good qualities, whereas a person who is not in Krishna consciousness cannot do so. We experience that even a young boy in Krishna consciousness is unattached to cinemas, nightclubs, naked dance shows, restaurants, liquor shops, etc. He becomes completely freed. He saves his valuable time from being extravagantly spent in the way of smoking, drinking, attending the theater, and dancing. Thank you.
One who is not in Krishna consciousness usually cannot sit silently even for half an hour. The yoga system teaches you become silent. You will realize that you are God. The system may be all right for materialistic persons, but how long will they be able to keep themselves silent? Artificially, they may sit down for so-called meditation, but immediately after the yogic performance, they will engage themselves again in such activities as illicit sex, life, gambling, meat eating, and many other nonsensical things. But a Krishna conscious person gradually elevates himself without endeavoring for this so-called silent meditation, simply because he is engaged in Krishna consciousness. He automatically gives up all this nonsense and develops a high character. One develops a high character by becoming a pure devotee of Krishna. The conclusion is that no one can truly have any good qualities if he is lacking Krishna consciousness. Thank you, Prabhu.
Happiness in Krishna consciousness. Srila Rupa Goswami has analyzed the different sources of happiness. He has divided happiness into three categories, which are happiness derived from material enjoyment, happiness derived by identifying oneself with the Supreme Brahman, and happiness derived from Krishna consciousness. In the Tantra Shastra, Lord Shiva speaks to his wife Sati in this way: "My dear wife, a person who has surrendered himself at the lotus feet of Govinda and who has thus developed pure Krishna consciousness can be very easily awarded all the perfections desired by the impersonalist, and beyond this, he can enjoy the happiness achieved by the pure devotees." Hare Krishna.
Happiness derived from pure devotional service is the highest because it is eternal. The happiness derived from material perfection or understanding oneself to be Brahman is inferior because it is temporary. There is no preventing one's falling down from material happiness, and there is even every chance of falling down from the spiritual happiness derived by identifying oneself with the impersonal Brahman. It has been seen that great Mayavadi impersonalist sannyasis are highly educated and almost realized souls, may sometimes take to political activities or to social welfare activities. The reason is that they actually do not derive any ultimate transcendental happiness in the impersonal understanding and therefore must come down to the material platform to take to such mundane affairs. There are many instances, especially in India, where these Mayavadi sannyasis descend to the material platform again. But a person who is fully in Krishna consciousness will never return to any sort of material platform, however alluring and attracting they may be. He always knows that no material welfare activities can compare to the spiritual